We live in strange times in this world that is in the grips of a global pandemic of perhaps unprecedented proportions. And yet, the 26th of June, this United Nations International Day in support of victims of torture, is just as important as ever for us to focus on. Many people, many good people, would wonder why in 2021 we're still dealing with this. Many people still associate torture with things from movies, from medieval times, from the Cold War period, or from other historical occasions where the practice of torture was clearly visible. Yet, torture continues to be a contemporary scourge on our world. I would say that perhaps in the context of a world that is trying to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, many governments have found that this gives them cover. It gives them cover to prevent access, to prevent travel, to prevent or hide from the eyes of journalists, of human rights defenders, of other nations that are committed to the protection of human rights and to eradication of torture. This is why it is absolutely important that we take some time to reflect on these issues, to try to see a bit further than just the places that we see in the news, places like Myanmar, like Colombia, like Belarus, where the human rights violations are quite clearly visible and reaching the media. Unfortunately, many other countries are struggling with a whole lot of human rights violations, including torture, that have been made invisible in this pandemic context. It is imperative, therefore, that we rekindle our efforts to fight against torture, to make this abhorrent practice more visible when it is present, to ensure that our governments, our civil society, is aware that it is a current and present problem, and a problem that we need to continue to fight against. And this is not just a responsibility of the human rights movement, as it's called, not just a responsibility of governments or international institutions. It is a responsibility of us all, because torture doesn't just affect the victims of torture. It affects the institutions of society, society as a whole, and really it debases the humanity that binds all people of goodwill in this world. Thank you.